Yo, what up there, everybody? It's your homeboy Heavy Metal Lifestyle. Thanks for tuning in to the Pop Culture 2 to 3 podcast. Look, before we jump into the interview, please hit that like and subscribe button. Look, I don't want you to miss nothing we got popping. Whatever we got going, we drop content, I want you to be the first to get it. So look, hit that like and subscribe button, turn the notifications on so when we drop content, you gonna get it. Look, I got a good one today. I got the homeboy Charles Klecker on. He's a Wolverine survivor. You're gonna ask me, what the hell is a Wolverine survivor? You're gonna have to pay attention to the podcast and the interview to see what that was and see what he's talking about. I met Charles at the GunCon. It's another GunCon Connect. We was sitting there kicking it, chopped it up a little bit. He was telling me about a story, and I said, you know what, you need to come on the podcast. So here he was. I got him on the podcast. He telling his story. He also has a degree in gunsmithing. So we kicked it a little bit about the P320. He told me his thoughts on it, how it may be fixed, what they could do, or some other and stuff that he thought was wrong with it. But anyways, but he also told me how you can survive the Wolverine. And hey, you're gonna have to pay attention to the interview to find out yourself how to survive the Wolverine. But anyways, I'm not gonna hold you up. Like I said, please hit that like and subscribe button. So you get the notifications when things drop. We got some good stuff coming up. We got some more content, some more interviews. But anyway, I'm not gonna hold you up. We're gonna jump right into the interview. Let's go.
Hey, how's it going, man? It's good to be here. So,
Hey, did you hear all
my name's
that?
Charles.
Did you hear all that?
Yeah, I heard it all.
Okay,
All
how did it
good.
sound? Was it?
Yeah.
Did I sound good?
Oh, yeah. You sound probably better than me because I'm using my mics are all, I don't know, MIA right now.
Go ahead with it.
I think they're still packed up from GunCon, to be honest with you. So, my name is Charles. I am the owner and operator of Clucker Tactical. It is a two-way industry company that started off as holsters, and we've recently started branching into more training, education, and other products that are not just holsters. So that's basically the foundation of it was holsters. We actually started off in 2017, 18 as a training company. I was a firearms instructor with the NRA for 3 years. After a deployment with the Marine Corps, I decided I wanted to train. So I got my certs, started doing CPO classes and basic pistol. Then I decided to go into gunsmithing, went into gunsmithing, and did that for a year. And then I basically just stuck with holsters after that because it was a portion of the class. And I've been doing that ever since. So I've been making holsters now for about 8 years,
Oh
give or
wow.
take. Officially in business for the only like last 4 to 6 years. But
So
as a
so
hobby for about 8 years.
these I don't now your deployment, what was your what were you into? Where did you go? How long did you stay in there? Tell us a little bit about what that experience was.
Yeah. So I was 0311 infantry. I was a Marine Corps reservist, but I still got to deploy. I did a lot of active duty time in my 8 years of my reserve contract. I had about 2.5, almost 3 years of active time. My deployment was a training deployment to this Central America. We were basically we went around to different countries within the area to help enforce our borders with drug trafficking, human trafficking, things like that. So we were just basically, I was the lead firearms instructor.
Mm.
We just ran ranges and did tactics and just to help strengthen our allies that we have in Central America. That's what the whole thing
So
is about.
what was some of the tactics or training that you had to go through prior to teaching some of those classes? Like, what did you have to know? Like how long did you train in order to become a firearms instructor in that field?
So within the Marine Corps, I did a 3-week class to be a coach. Um, and that was really about it to be an instructor there. But for an instructor for the deployment, we had a 3-month workup. Typical deployments are usually 3 months of your workup time, and that's what you're doing for 3 months straight. You're doing all your prep training for your area that you're going into and what you're going to be uh, tasked to do. So a lot of ours with all of our instructors, so it's our entire team going with all of our instructors essentially. So we had culture training, we had Spanish classes, um, we had firearms overview of the area, like what firearms are they actually using in that area, so that way we can become more experts on the firearms that they're using, so we can employ different tactics with firearms that they employ,
So give
as
like
well
a
as other
so gi-
vehicles.
I'm sorry. So you said you was posted in Central America.
Yeah,
Okay, so what
So
kind of what firearms did they use in that area? Like what was some of the firearms that you had to get accustomed to know how to use, or what the bad guys was using?
it was AK-47s, Galil style weapons, but we were surprised at how much old our U.S. Army surplus that they actually use. All the countries that I went to, which was I spent a month in the Dominican Republic and then 3 weeks in Panama. Uh, Other guys, we were in Nicaragua, Belize, a couple other ones. I can't remember all the teams that we had out there. There was pretty much every Central American country except for one, I think. But anyway, a lot of mixture of everything because they kind of just got what they could get their hands on. A lot of the guns I had were very unserviceable. They didn't have armors. They just had stockpiles of like Vietnam era and Korea era weapons. Yeah, that's what they used. I mean, a lot of M16s, um, Woodstock, Remington bolt guns that are like basically hunting rifles. But we did have some 240s, some M60s. Yeah, they had a plethora of everything really. There was just no standard.
So what are some of the like misconceptions, or what people like when you got was over there, you was seeing that you see the media talk about that's really what's really going on over there that we may not know about, as far as when it comes to the border,
Uh,
protecting the borders and all that, because at one point it was a big issue, and build a wall, do this, do that, but like what's the real nitty gritty when it comes to that?
so we were in Central America. We really didn't have too much direct impact on, I guess you could say, the Mexico to U.S. border. Although everything that flows through Mexico is coming through Central America first, because all those drugs and everything else is coming from South America, and it's channeled through Central America. Um, the biggest thing was going to be like how much drugs are actually coming through there, as well as how much gang population is. People think of like maybe a couple gangs you can think of the top of your head, MS-13 being one. There was like 8 or 9 different gangs that I can remember. I couldn't tell you the names that were like key identifiers. Like, hey, these are a lot of these gangs that are trapping and stuff that were, you know, and also had to be on the lookout for members because we were also getting spotted and scouted too. So
Oh, it was a
I
two-way
think
street
people don't realize that.
so it was a
Yeah, they were
two-way
always
street when
watching
it
you.
come to intelligence, huh? They was watching you while
Yeah,
y'all was watching them?
yeah. And those bigger gangs, they're not dumb. That they know what they're doing, and that just nowadays everybody's got a cell phone. Everybody has connectivity to the internet. We're not living in the Stone Age anymore. So uh,
Mm.
people are probably taking pictures of us without us knowing it. We were taking pictures of them without them knowing it. So,
So
but
was it
there's a lot of gangs that run through there.
did you have any some hot topic stories like, hey man, this shit went down and this is what happened, or because you watch some of the SEAL Team 6, or what was my favorite? Yeah, I think it was SEAL Team, and I think their last appointment was they was over there in Central America, and they were doing stuff because they wasn't in their it was, I guess it was like off the books kind of whatever. So you see all that, like,
Oh
you know
yeah,
what I'm saying? Like,
we didn't. Yeah,
what is a situation you was
we
like,
didn't.
hey,
But we actually worked with some SEAL teams that were there that weren't supposed to be there.
okay.
So I actually met up with 2 different SEAL teams that were in the area, and that was like one of the first is like, yeah, we're not supposed to be here technically. So I was
You
like, oh,
didn't see
that's cool. Like you're doing,
you didn't see us, but you
but
did. You know what I'm saying? You didn't
yeah,
see them,
yeah.
but you did. That was cool, man.
Like they couldn't be in uniform; they were in civvies, and so they got to probably do some really cooler stuff. We were just kind of mainly training. The only cool thing I guess I don't want to say cool; it's bad light on it. But we had those 2 hurricanes that came through in 2017. Hurricane Maria, Hurricane Irma, followed the same path within maybe less than a week of each other. So we got spun up. Our training got halted, and we went on to what's called HDR. And we were going around doing humanitarian aid, basically evacuating American citizens, making sure everybody's all good. And then we did that for a good 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah. I said that was pretty exciting. It was different, but um, definitely link up with again another SEAL team. Not supposed to be there. Yeah, but, um, but nothing too exciting. just got to train a bunch of people, got to meet some cool people, and got to indulge in the culture there, which is really great. I miss the food. That's probably my favorite part of the whole experience. Is the food.
Well, you did a thing. You came home. You were safe, and you can talk about some of the stories, and that definitely got an
Yeah.
experience. So how did you jump into the holster building? Like, where did that come from?
So when I got back from there, one of the guys in the army at my unit, he was doing SDI, which is Sauer Institute, online gunsmithing school, and he's like, "Hey, your GI Bill will pay for it. Pay for most of it." And so I was like, "Sure, why not? I'm not going to use it for anything else. I might as well do schooling that's related with guns because that's a passion of mine, right?" So I went to SDI, did the gunsmith certificate course, and then later on went to the advanced gunsmithing, which was actually an associate's degree in firearms technology. So I have an associate's in firearms. Um,
You got associate's
and one of the
degree in
classes was
firearms building.
the firearms technology, so it's pretty broad. Uh, but one of the classes was holsters. Uh, that I had some extra stuff after that, and I started making my own. And I was like, "This is kind of easy, and it's kind of cool." So I started making all my holsters for myself, for friends, family, and they're like, "Hey, you could probably do something with this." And I said, "Why not? I'll give it a shot. We'll see how it goes." So I think I just sold like word of mouth for a little bit, and then I had like a really simple read-only website where it was like a contact, like, "Hey, contact me if you want a holster." And I did that for about a year until I actually went with a full, e-commerce website. Put my first products on there and started selling through an e-commerce website. Been doing that ever since now.
Mm. So what? So what school did you go to? You went to what was an STI? Was that it?
SDI, Sonoran Desert Institute.
Sort of okay. Cause I can't remember. I thought one of those two got a bad rap recently about taking the GI's money or some it was something. I can't remember what it was about. But I heard they was under fire for a little bit. Had some bad
I've heard
publicity
that
in
about
media.
SDI. I've kind of heard some rumors about SDI. I mean, I personally have went. I've known a lot of well-known gunsmiths that have gone to SDI, and it's just like any school. It's getting you the base education. As far as like them taking money, I don't know. All I know is my GI paid for 75% of it. So whatever
Okay.
money they took from the GI Bill and did with it, I'm not too sure.
As long as you got your associate's degree in firearm
Yeah,
technology,
exactly.
I'm a master degree
Yeah.
in firearms technology. That was that was cool, man. Cause and then I also cause you do a lot of the gunsmithing and so you took that you took the gunsmithing, then you kind of move into the holster world. Cause I know in the holster world it's so many. It's so many companies that make holsters, so many companies that make this holster. And when first bought my Staccato, it was hard to find a holster for it because wasn't nobody making holsters for Staccatos, and especially they weren't making holsters for the Staccato with a TRR7 or X300, whatever, the Surefires. So I know back then, but now it's a bunch of different companies that make holsters for Staccatos because that's the new Glock of the 2011s. Everybody got to have a
Yeah.
Staccato. Um, so with your background in gunsmithing, what do you think about Staccatos?
I don't know. I haven't dove into them too much. I haven't really actually broke into 2011s that much. Well, the newer 2011s. I have worked on the old double stack 1911s, which are a little different, but
Hmm.
that's just the frames are one piece instead of a two piece like the newer ones. Uh, because the double stack 1911 was around prior. It was just when STI decided that they're going to split the frame to allow it to take instead of single, different mags. They wanted to use their own proprietary mags or whatever, make the frames more modular. I'm not lighter because they're a little bit lighter because you got a tap polymer. Um, I didn't really get a whole lot of those to work on. Um, I like them. I still want to get one. I'm actually looking at getting a Fusion Firearms. I think it's the XP. Their 2011. That's one of the ones I'm looking at getting. And I
Who
know
you looking at? Which
Fusion Firearms. That's the I want to say it's the XP.
Fusion Firearms has a 2011.
Yep, yep. I think you briefly seen them there at GunCon. They had a 2011 that started at around 1,000, and bull barrel. It's loaded with features. Uh, I know if you know Dylan, he's got one, and I think that even Zack even liked it. To get Zack to like another 2011, another Staccato,
You said the XP?
I think it's the XP because I think the XF is the Glock style one. At the
Is that it right there?
Yep, that's it right there. That's the one I'm looking at getting.
Why you like
Except for not
that
that one
is
because that's a 10 round. You get that California crap out of there.
get get that California. Oh, I just went to the I didn't even know about this. Oh, the 10 rounder, I see it. What's this thing right there? Oh, that boy
Oh,
is
but that's
nice.
and it's pretty affordable, and that's their price on their site. I don't think they have any dealers as far as I know. I think you have to get it directly from them for right now.
They were at the GunCon?
Mhm.
Where were they at?
Yeah, I didn't get a chance. I didn't get a chance to shoot. If you walked when you walked in, they were at the back right corner by the windows. On that back wall with
Oh,
the windows.
they the company that had all those what did they have? They were selling okay. So Phoenix Firearm was there,
Yep.
and I think Fusion was against the back wall. Okay, okay. Uh
Yes. If you remember where Phoenix was,
I,
uh,
I
Fusion was like 2 or 3 tables to the left.
you know what? They were selling I didn't cuz everybody a lot of people was over there and I didn't get a chance to I did walk over there. But I think they were selling like they were selling they had another product that covered the light or covered the light to if you shot competition, I think it covered the light or did something weird. They had some other stuff at the
So
table.
that's Harrington Arms. That's the ones they do compensators. They
Okay.
were in the actual corner, and I
Okay.
think yeah, they were right in that vicinity though. And then I
So
never got to see they were there at the range day. I must have walked right past them.
brother, I must have walked right past him too. I'm mad about that.
Yeah, yeah, because they felt great.
Ooh,
They're nice for $1,000. I mean, for start.
that's a nice. Let me say this. I have a staccato P. I got a staccato P. But I really kind of and my homeboy has an XC, and that XC is a different type of monster when it comes to staccatos. That's like the big dog. But I really like
Mhm.
that staccato C, the 4 inch, and it comes with you can get a short compact grip or the full grip, and it's like one is 17 and one is 15 rounds. But it's just the slimness of it, the size of it is it's definitely it's different when you grab it. But you know, the world is 2011 now. Everybody carry a 2011. Um, I just
Yeah.
it can't.
I love the way they feel. I think they shoot good. I shot my buddy Zack, and it's like the thing shoots like a laser beam, man. The thing's awesome.
Oh, this right here,
I don't.
the fusion
No,
one.
he's got a I think he's got the XC with the comp.
Okay.
I can't
Um.
remember what Zach's got, but whatever was Zach's Staccato, I made a custom holster for because he's got an aftermarket compensator that wouldn't fit another one because we had a special molding around it. It has a different profile than the slide a little bit, so it protrudes past, but the profile is different. So we had to build it up a little bit more to allow clearance. Um,
So
and then
go ahead.
he's got a little wing that goes onto the Surefire X300. It's a fold up gas pedal, and it actually collapses and folds when it goes into my holster.
Hmm.
So my holster so far out of the couple he's tried are the only ones that will actually fold that and not impede holstering.
Well, the anything with these is I carry appendix, so I'm just a little leery of carrying some of these appendix and the hammers back and all that. So I try not to get into it, but I really want to start carrying um this 2011 appendix. I want that to be one of my go-tos. I
Yeah,
was trying to
it's probably one of the safest guns to carry. You got 3 safeties. You got a backstrap safety. I think do those have no? Those don't have a triggers. If an internal safety, I think on the newer ones because it's newer 2011, I think they have a hammer safety inside the slide, and then you actually have fit the manual safety. So
So so you got to talk to Fusion Firearms.
yeah,
Okay.
just a little, just briefly, but
Okay.
I'm thinking I'm going to be getting one of each of those in for uh, not so much review, but holster compatibility testing. So we're going to get them into mold on and make design molds. We're starting to design our own molds in house,
So
and so we're
so
going to get those into testing.
So, yeah. So I like how you spin that. You said, yeah, we're not getting it for actual gun review. Hint, hint. We just getting it in for modes and holsters. is that
Yeah.
is that
Well,
is that
I
the
think
pitch?
that reviews are kind of dead. I I I don't like doing reviews. I never wanted to get into doing reviews. I never wanted to get my. I tried it a little bit when I first started my YouTube channel, but my reviews just ended up being like an intel depth. Like, here's how you take it apart, put it together. And here's the key features of it. And it might have been a gun that's been out for years, but you're you got it's my spin on it, what I think about it, because that's all a review is. You can have 10 different people saying, oh, this, and this is cool. I can read the stats on the website. You're just repeating that. I want your opinion based off of, hey, I like your opinion. And that's all validity of a review is do you validate that person's opinion about that firearm? Because anybody can sit there and read stats.
You know what? I think me and you share the same kind of idea about that, but so let me ask you this. It's crazy to say that because I mean, well, not crazy, to say, but you saying that when you look at your analytics on your YouTube page and you see that the reviews you did for gun stuff, the reviews and the views and the likes were like super high. He was like, man, I got like 600 and 700 views, and then something that wasn't about a gun review, you didn't get that many. So you like you start looking at some of the analytics, it's like people like to hear your opinion about guns. So do you stay down that path just to get because you get that many more views? Because I guess I was told it's kind of like you do two for YouTube and one for yourself, right? Two and one kind of concept. Because I really
Okay.
don't want to do gun reviews because, well, my opinion about a firearm is it could be different than your opinion about a firearm. When I get something in, I want to be able to shoot it, shoot it, shoot it. And if it doesn't fit my lifestyle, then I you know what I'm saying? I kind of it's like I need to get something that fits my lifestyle and how I'm doing it so I can give you an honest review. Cause I feel like
Mm.
me being a civilian and just a regular cat dad like yourself, I need to do carry a gun a certain way, and it needs to be 100% liable. I mean, reliable, and this, and this, and it gotta fit my lifestyle. So if I give you
Mhm.
opinion, I'm getting your opinion on a firearm that actually is my day to day, every day, not just because they sent it to me, whatever. Because I don't want to. If a company send me a firearm, I want to make sure I give them the utmost, I mean, what I'm trying to
Honest
say.
review.
You know what I'm saying? Like I want to
Yeah.
give them the total package when I do a review. So I want to give them
Yeah.
everything. You know what I'm saying? I want to carry, I want to do this, I want to shoot it, competition, yada. Because all I run a lot of MPs, and all my MPs I can go from the crib to the range to a match. You know what I'm saying? So I mean
Mhm.
that's just I'm like you. To do a bunch of reviews on a bunch of different guns. Yeah, I don't know about that.
It's and I think the market, well, not the market, but just YouTubers in general are so saturated with people doing reviews that I mean, a lot of people started off doing reviews to get them on the map, and then they tailor back, and then they come, then then their followers like, hey, we want you to do a review now, and they end up coming back to doing it, but they have a different way that they do the reviews. It's a little bit different.
Now
Uh,
let's say this YouTube world, me and him are not saying we won't take a free pew pew and shoot and have fun
yeah,
and do a review.
send them our
We're
way.
we're not we're
I
not
will
we're
review
not
the correct. Yeah,
bro. I review the crap out of it. I ain't saying that, but
yeah. You send me a gun, I'll give you an honest review. I'll no BS because you're not paying me. I will tell you my honest feelings about it.
well, I guess
Whether you like that or not.
when you look at the analytics on your page or something, you see it and you're like, okay, a lot of the reviews or the gun stuff, it gets a lot of, it gets a lot of traction. And the other things you may talk about may not. So sometimes you get put into a world where I'm doing this to get traction opposed to what I really wanted to do. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
and that's when it comes to the YouTube game. You know how that is. You're riding the analytics roller coaster, trying to see where you're at the high and maintain it as long as you can. And if
I
it's
was
doing something you're like, I don't really want to do this, but people want it, then I mean that's what you got a YouTube channel for. It's not ultimately for yourself. It's for other people, for your viewers. What do they want?
and that's what one of the OGs told me, man. He's like, it's not necessarily about you. It's about, people that, watch your channel and take your opinion, and they want to hear your honest review about it, or your honest thoughts about that firearm, or why you like it, why you didn't like it, or what this, whatever. So when he told me that, I was like, all right, bet. But I haven't got to the point where everybody's knocking down my door to shoot me a firearm so I can do a review. So
No, no.
it is what it is. So let me ask you this: since I'm trying to, I thought I had it. Let me ask you this: since your skill set is gunsmithing, correct?
Yeah, I got. Yeah, it's
I
in the
mean,
toolbox.
you got some skills in gunsmithing, right?
Yeah.
This you look like you worried, like I'm about to ask you a question. You like
What'd you break?
I, nothing,
What's
nothing,
broken?
nothing. I was just gonna ask your honest opinion about what you think about the P320. Like, what do you think
I
the
knew it was coming.
situation with that is, man?
Oh boy. So back in
Okay,
I did a
two
little
part
bit.
question. Two part question.
Yeah. Okay.
What do you think the issue is with that? And why do you think SIG doubled down on dumb when they just keep trying to push that shit? Like, there's nothing wrong with it.
So I'm going to go off of what everybody else's reporting is because I haven't got one to test. I'm looking for it. If anybody here's got a 320 they're not comfortable with anymore because it's not safe, I'll just contact me. I'll take it off you guys.
Apparently,
Uh,
they ain't all not safe. What you talking about?
so, um, well, first off, we are we have no trust in the 320 anymore. We pulled it from our website. We're no longer offering holster support. So until SIG can get their crap together and they can, I'm not even going to take SIG's word for it because they've been saying it's safe and it's not. The 320 has had an issue since 2017. I bet even before that. I had an issue with my. I didn't have an issue with mine, but my P320 that I first got was my first full size gun. I got a compact gun. There was a voluntary recall back in 2017 that included the Cirrus safety block, the trigger, and there was one other issue in that recall. I had it pulled up and I forgot what it was, but essentially it's had the same issues that they're having now, and it was a voluntary recall. And I'm sorry, but if you have a firearm with a safety issue, it should not be a voluntary recall. It is a, hey, if you have a firearm with this serial number and you know who has what serial number between what ranges, because we have a record for it. Hey, there's a problem with your firearm. It's involving a safety issue. Please send it back. We'll fix it. It's a huge liability for that company. They shouldn't have made it voluntary. That's my opinion on it. Years later, fast track now to the past year and a half. Now we're starting to see that SIGs are starting to go off without the trigger being pulled, and it's being linked to the steer block for the safety steer block that is now MIMmed, not cat. It's a cast part. It shouldn't be. It should be a machine part. That was having an issue. We had the trigger bars inside the FCU with the safety linkage, I believe it was. So what's happening, and one of the guys, they just talked about it a couple of podcasts ago, Wyoming Gunworks, I'm going to screw that up. He was able to dislodge the slide on the 320, which displaced the trigger bar, setting the gun off, essentially. So that's why they're saying if it's an incompatible holster, well, if your holster's holding your slide properly and that grip gets moved,
why don't you own these big?
It goes off. Yeah. So
my word is.
Did you hear that right there? Did
That's
you hear that come through?
yeah. Yep.
Oh man. Okay, go ahead. I didn't want that to come through,
You
but
could.
go ahead.
But so regarding just repeating what all the reports and everybody else and all these other YouTubers or podcasters have displayed about the 320 and the trials and tests of people that I know personally that have like, yeah, hey, this thing can go off. And now you have an airman that lost, that lost their life because of this mishap. Now, there is also going to be more investigative information coming out about that, but there's probably was negligence there as far as safety concerns with the airmen involved. However, regardless of those safety concerns with the mishandling of the firearm still shouldn't have gone off, even if it was dropped, because they're supposed to be drop safe.
Well,
So,
it seems like now since the Air Force, the Air Force guy or whatever, since it was a
mhm.
big, excuse me, since he had a situation, now it's a bigger issue. No, now it's like, oh, we got to
Well,
do
now it's
something.
because it's with a military contract.
Now they not playing. Now it's like military contract. Oh, it's an issue. Now we gonna say something. Cause you talking about this video right here.
Yeah, there's one. Yep. So he was able to dislodge the slide enough from the trigger bar to release the sear.
Let's see
So
some.
there's
Hold on, hold
that
on.
trigger bar issue in the SCU that has an issue. There's the sear safety block that's in the slide that has an issue. Um, so and then bang.
So why what was the purpose of putting a screw in the bottom of it?
And the screw. Well,
You
you
see
put a
the
screw
screw?
where?
You see the screw? You see the screw right there? He put it.
I
You see
did
the?
not. I didn't see that. But,
You see? You see it? Oh, he talked. See it right there?
hmm,
So somebody asked me like, "What's the purpose of
I'm
putting a screw in it?" And I was like, "Man, I don't know." I was like, I was wondering were they trying to like bring pressure on the trigger back a little bit to do
that it might be that he's trying to simulate having constant, some pressure on the trigger without actually having his finger on the trigger. Uh, I'm not sure. He might explain it in his full video.
Oh yeah,
I can't recall.
I was trying actually trying he I thought he did. I was actually trying to find the guy's video that actually did it, but everybody he jumped on it
Yeah,
and he
you're
talking
getting repost
and
after
I can't
repost.
right. Is it
Yeah,
everybody's talking about it
yeah.
on their setup.
So
Um
the biggest thing with the 320 being the safety concern is that how many other firearms manufacturers companies at all have you heard of having a similar issue?
I haven't
No.
heard at to this magnitude nobody. Now, I was told that and I don't know how true this is. You may know some backstory. That Glock had issues in the first iteration of them, or something like that. Like Glock
They
had some
had
issues.
their triggers would stick
Yeah,
and not
okay. So
reset. But
they had some issues,
another
but I never nothing on this
every gun
magnitude.
company's got issues. I mean,
Right.
you got all these gun companies that have, oh, this part failed, this part didn't, frames broke, or this was insufficient part made out of inferior materials, and they break. This breaks, this breaks. But some of them would just made it. Oh, this is a dead trigger. The trigger would break. The trigger spring would break. They would make the gun not work, which is not a good thing for you. However, it didn't make the gun just go off on it when it wasn't supposed to. All those safety concerns were it was a dead gun, a part broke that shouldn't have broken, and that's all the other manufacturers have issues, but none of them have issues where the gun just goes off and it's not supposed to.
So what's crazy is I did a video on one of my mentors, Trek. He used to own MDFI, and he said that because it's actually in the court, like a lot of other gun companies have issues, but the fact that SIG is like in the court system, it's a bigger issue. And he said that, and after he said it because he owned like this training company, they MDFI actually stopped allowing students, and they were the first ones, and my first one that I seen in my that did this. They started outlawing. You couldn't even come to train with a P320. They wouldn't let you do
Yeah.
it. They wouldn't let you come train with them. So if you had one, you either had to go get a buddy's gun or some, or not come at all. So I was just, to take that stance at that time when nobody else was doing it, it was like, oh, they standing on business. Cause some institutes or some training facilities, they get a lot of LE contracts or get a lot of LE they got do a lot of LE training. And at the time, probably a lot of police officers were carrying probably P320s, Glocks, and all that. So for them to stand on safety, regardless of who was paying what, was like, oh, okay, they standing on business. They're like, man, look, no more P320s. And this was way before the Air Force situation. This is way before every
I
10
think at that
people.
point there've been like 4 or 5 incidents beforehand. Someone with injuries, officers getting shot in the leg, guns going off on ranges during classes. I mean, it's
Hey,
I think
hey,
one is
Ben,
too many. One is too many.
hey, Ben Stoker be eating they asses up, man. Ben,
Yeah,
listen,
I
every
watched.
time
Yeah,
he go in there, and it's always a good ass SIG meme behind. Every time they're like, man, you seen Ben Stoker stuff? I was like, no, I don't really watching like that. They're like watching, he just tearing SIG asses up, and I was just like, wow.
yeah, and then it's SIG's counter to say it's safe, it's safe, it's safe. They're really driving it home hard, and they keep getting incident after incident, and to the point where when you look at their update that they did to their safety manual, so I don't know if you've seen that post.
Mm-mm.
They changed their safety manual to say that they don't recommend a round in the chamber.
So they
So so
wait a minute, say that again.
I don't know if that was doctored. We'll have to actually get someone who had bought in a 320 recently to confirm that wasn't an AI generated document. But
The
you
hell.
got to be real careful about that nowadays.
The
But
AI
I
strikes
don't.
again.
But I don't put it past SIG to be like, oh well, hey, we're having some safety concerns. Well, let's just make sure we put it in the owner's manual that we don't recommend putting a round in the chamber. If there's no round in the chamber, you can't go off. Yeah,
So don't. Hey, you can't
good on
have
you.
one in the chamber with our guns. You have to have a snap cap round in there first, then go real bullets.
Yeah.
Snap cap, bullet,
So
bullet, snap cap.
yeah, so if that is a legit thing that they actually did and it wasn't just a media scam, then that's pretty much them admitting to it, in my opinion. If they're going to change their safety manual, uh, and that's I think that's an admission of guilt. I was like, oh yeah, so we're having an issue. Let's throw it out here. It's like, well, we're going to clear ourselves of that by saying, but we don't recommend you putting around the chamber. All of a sudden,
Well, and that's what my guy was saying. He was like, they can't really come on there and say that it's an issue because not admitting that it's an issue. So they got to fight every lawsuit, every this and that, because they can't say, yeah, our shit is fucked up. They can't just come out and say it. So they gotta, what I'm saying, tap,
yeah,
tap dance around it.
there's 3 branches of SIG too. I think there's a German SIG, there's the
Uh-huh.
American SIG, and I think there's a Swiss SIG. American SIGs are the only one that are having issues. And
Why is
just own
that?
it. Hey, you got an issue. I think they all have different manufacturing plants and facilities. Same head, but I think they're all manufactured in their own respective areas.
Man, I'm
Uh,
trying to
but
find that. It might be
just
AI
own it
because
though.
this all I'm trying to
If
find.
you're,
I'm trying to look for it.
oh
Go ahead.
yeah, but if you're a company and you made a mistake, you need to own up to it.
Yeah. They're a trillion-dollar company, probably. They're not trying to own up to nothing. They can't say that because now, like you said, it's gonna be a ton of. Now is the P320 is thrown out. Like, listen, what's crazy is I love all P365s. I like them. You know what I'm saying? I like from the macro to the micro to the fusion to the tac out with all of them. Those were some nice guns. I'm just like, and that Six Spear is a badass gun. Like that Six Spear rifle is a badass gun. And I'm just like, where did the hell did they misstep on a P320 that's been out for fucking freaking decades? Like, you know what I'm
And
saying?
why does the 365 not have this issue when it's a copy of the 320? It's a miniaturized copy of the 320. How come the 365 doesn't have the same issue?
Right.
It does have some issues with the manual safety. It has a safety disc checker that it flops around a little bit on one of the SUs. And then I don't think you're having any issues with the Legions, AXGs, anything that has the SIG custom works. They're upgraded FCU. I don't think those ones had any issues that I know of. I haven't actually looked into to see which models and which FCU units were actually caught having ones with issues, but it seems to be just 320 die-mill compacts that have been consistently having the same issue.
I know some of my no, it was. I wonder what all these guys that were talking like, well, these military guys that were having conversation about SIG, like, well, my SIG didn't do this or my SIG didn't do that. Now all of a
Yeah.
sudden it's now I wonder, because I don't know if you follow Knockout Lights. Like he's a heavy SIG guy. He was everything was SIG. So I'm just wondering, you know what I'm saying, how that affects, you know, what his thoughts was on everything that's going on. Because, you know, well, even if you you go on Reddit or whatever, you see all the Instagrams. Well, I have a P320 and I just shot it 10,000 rounds and nothing happened to it. Okay. I mean, I guess small.
Yours is good then.
Your serial number was okay. You know, 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
4.
Out of
All the
how
other
many millions were sold,
right. So you
or
know,
hundreds of thousands of them. I don't know if it was in the millions, but hundreds of thousands of SIGs out there, and you're going to say, "Oh, well, this one's good." Well, I'm not saying they're all bad. We're just saying a good majority of them are bad.
hey, you know, it would have been funny. We'd have walked in GunCon and one of the SIG reps had been on the panel. It's like John.
Oh man, if SIG was there, they had so. There was a time. It was last year. I think they got the same treatment that the NRA got last year when they were there. They had the audacity.
I heard
Or no,
about
I'm sorry,
that.
it was GunCon. Like, oh, you're gonna. They tried to show up, and John's like, no. And
Yeah,
they made
I
some
heard
leadership
about it.
changes. That's why they were able to come this year.
I heard about it. So let me ask you this:
Yeah,
since GunCon has left, what you know what I'm saying? What experience did you? Because this is listen, this was my first GunCon and first event going to something like that. I get invited to stuff, but due to family, whatever, sometimes I can't get out
yeah,
and go to the things. But you know, was this your second one?
yeah.
Okay, because you
So
you were over there with who? It was a company.
it
What
was Dave with High Point and over with the AR-15 podcast guys.
the Who
I
podcast
chatted
guys?
with the AR-15 podcast.
Okay, the AR-15 podcast guys.
So
Okay.
and then I know all the guys from the We Like Shooting podcast as well. Met them last year in the parking lot in Brownells. And then we linked up and we've kind of been in contact ever since.
So how's that experience and that relationship? Because I just thought it was a dope. I thought it was dope because I got a lot of. Let me say this: I'm a small time channel, but I got a lot of business, a lot of interviews lined up, or connections, or
Mhm.
just making, you know, talking to people, and they're like, "Yeah, we come on your podcast," you know, whatever.
And yeah,
In the past, me I guess going to events like this, it's like a networking thing because I met you. You from Michigan. Didn't know that. You know, we jumped in there in the studio and was talking, kicking it. But like that whole GunCon, regardless of whatever happened prior to us getting there, after we got there, I thought it was a great experience for me because I got to meet some two. It was you. I met you. Then I met another company, Next Level Armament, up in Grand Rapids. I did a podcast with
yeah.
them. Please be on the lookout for that. I gotta drop that soon. I've been bull crapping, so I'm gonna upload that one ASAP. But I just talked to them, and they do a lot of. What's crazy is Michigan had their hands in a lot of gun stuff that I had no
Oh yeah,
idea. Cause he said they do
oh
a
yeah.
lot of stuff for other gun manufacturers and some of the companies he couldn't even mention or even talk about. But it was just cool to see. Like, you know, since this is your second one, how has your experience being from the first one to the second one? Has it like improved you know, where you at, or you know what I'm saying? Like just tell me that whole kind of like experience.
The first time I went with a YouTuber that I sponsored, and that was like my entry to get in. I was basically his camera guy. I helped him film,
Who
and
was that? Who
I
was the
went through.
YouTuber?
It's the gun guy Cody.
The gun guy Cody. The gun guy Cody. Okay.
Yeah. So I reached out to him uh, probably 6 months prior to the event, not knowing even what GunCon was at this time. I knew what the Gun Collective was. I would follow John Gun Collective. I followed them. Didn't really know about GunCon. I didn't think it came to me, and I didn't want to go out. Couldn't make it up to the events prior. But we were talking about he's going to represent small companies, and on his YouTube channel, and he's like, someone told him about GunCon. I was like, oh, that sounds cool. Maybe I'll go to it. I was just going to go as an attendee, and he's like, hey, my camera guy, he's not going to make it. Come with me, and you can help film. Sounds great. Let's go. Turns out I found out that like Aaron from the We Like Shooting podcast, he lives maybe 45 minutes down the road from me, and so
Oh, he from Michigan?
Yeah,
Wow.
he's an owl. So
Okay.
it's just, we saw them showing some stuff off the parking lot. Just kind of wandered over, and it was like there's no like niche groups. You just wander around, and I'm like, hey, I watched this guy's YouTube. I watched this guy's YouTube, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. Like these are all these people that I take their opinion and watch their videos before I buy stuff, and here they are, just showing down, like saying what's up, just like normal people interacting. I was like, this is really cool, and got to the ranch. It was the same thing, just walking around, and it was a nice community to be in. It was really cool experience to see these people that you followed, and then also seeing on top of that all these other people that are just starting their channels and starting to get into the industry, and it's like it's welcoming for them. It's an inviting for them, because that's the whole point, is to get the next generation and more people into the industry doing this kind of stuff. And the difference between like SHOT Show being it's more industry level, or I like big contracts, and they don't really care about you if you don't have like 500,000 followers, and that's not what this event's about. And then you can attest to that when you were there that day, how many interviews you got lined up, even though you're not like a big name podcast. People are like, yeah, let's do it. They're there for that reason, and that's what the whole event is about. Really. And the panelists are great. They have a lot of good opinions and voices. They're doing a lot of good things for the 2A community. So the first time I was kind of like, under someone else's umbrella, and then this time I was under my own lift there. So it's kind of different experience this time, actually being there under my own company name versus under somebody else's. So I think it was a big difference. And
That's
I
always
went
a
to meet,
that's always that's always a big plus, especially going on your own merit and they know who you are. Um that is I'm gonna tell you this. The one I'm from the city, man. I'm a city boy through and through Detroit. So me going out to an event where I think it's gonna be majority of not me being there, you know what I'm saying? Like I was shocked to see the diversity that was there. The panel was diverse. It wasn't just, you know what I'm saying, all one. It had women, had black women,
yeah,
everybody was kind of represented up there, and that's one thing I liked about it, because I looked around and I was just like, hey, it's a lot of Instagram guys that I follow, black, white, whatever, and they was all out there. And I missed I didn't get a chance to talk to, and I seen them. Man, what is this song gonna sound racist as hell. The Asian, what are they called?
oh
24,
yeah,
what is it? Pack, is it 24 hour? What are their names? It was
Are
like three of
you
them.
talking
They
about
were
the
together.
guy that was wearing the grass hat?
No, not
Oh, not him.
not
I can't remember his name.
not Gun Camp, not them. It was another
Okay.
group, YouTubers, and I follow them on Instagram, and they were there. I can't think of their name, but they're Asian, they're young guys. But I seen them, and
I
sometimes you
see it.
see people and just like, oh, are they YouTubers or they on Instagram? And then you come to find out, oh, they were there, because I seen them. They had posted, because everybody was posting their gun kind of stuff, and I was just like, oh man, I was there. Why I didn't get a chance to talk to you and kick it with you? But just me,
Yeah.
being there, talking to, I mean, seeing, like I said, I got a lot of interviews, a lot of good connections. Um, the one thing that stood out to me, besides the diversity of people there, were how open every brand was there to talk to you. And what was crazy, I was talking to the owner of Next Level Armament, and he was saying that he said, I guess they cut off the limit of like 160 people, and some of the companies were like, that's all that's gonna be here. But he was like, well, I look at it like it's 160 people I didn't know yesterday. It's 160 people, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying, I can kick it with and talk to. And every company that I went up
Yeah.
to was open. I kicked it with them, talked to them, gave them my card, they gave me their card. Some of them reached out before I even reached out. So like it was It was a great experience. The one weird thing was, man, I'm gonna tell you this, was that AR-15 with that with that gyroscope on the front of it. I was
Oh
like,
yeah,
"What?"
from
Remember we was
Hotel
talking about
Romeo
that?
Engineering. That I think that was I had a video that posted that was probably the most innovative product of the event. I think that was just the coolest thing. Is it practical? No, who cares? It's a gyroscopic brake. It's awesome. You know, like who else has done it? And why does it matter if it doesn't actually do anything? It's fun.
Hey, I told
And
him they
shooting
need
it
to
was cool. The sound the thing made, it was cool to shoot.
I was like,
And
maybe
for
he could
$100.
if he could send it and get it platinum and then call it a spinner. It's like call it the spinner AR-15 with spinners on it or some cool like eventually call it their ghetto blaster. Call it something six-fold
Good.
AR-15. Something.
I think I mentioned that in the video I posted. I said, "Does your AR have spinners?" And I just started going to town on it. And I think
That's
that would be cool, like a fully high polished AR, just the whole thing chromed out,
hmm
and then that.
so since you've been in that the first one and you've been in this one, what was like one of the biggest things that you got from this one that you didn't get from the other one?
This one, because now I was here for me. I was actually more. Uh, I was there to talk to the brands. I was there not so much like, yeah, I'm a holster company first, kind of. So I'm there to talk about holster stuff. That's anything that's holster related. But I'm also a gun guy. I'm a gun guy. I'm a gun nut. I'm a gun nerd. So like, I was talking to everybody about everything, and that I found to be interesting. So Rifle Speed was one. I love their stuff. I want their stuff, and I was like, hey, it doesn't work with my stuff like it does now. I'm like, cool, because last year that was the problem. So like stuff like that, like I can use because I also competition shoot. I train for disaster stuff. I'm out there, got my kit and stuff, and there's a lot of guys out in that event that had stuff that I was interested in. And other stuff was just cool that doesn't really interest me, but I like long range stuff. I want to get into it, uh, but
My
it didn't interest
pocketbook
me that much.
My pocketbook ain't
Yeah,
long enough for that long range stuff because I shot that
no,
collect. Ooh, what is it called? I don't know. I got
Kelby,
that car. Yeah,
Kelby rifle.
whew,
Yeah,
them things were wow, and
I,
just
yeah.
they were
I didn't
nasty.
get to it, but that 7 millimeter backcountry from that Shaw had with their barrel,
hmm
that thing popped and it smacked. I've never heard steel get smacked that hard at 120 yards. Just every time that thing got hit, everybody looked. Like, what was that? That was that 7 millimeter backcountry. It was smack.
Hey, one thing that I should have and I didn't take advantage of. We got there late when we was out at range day. It was like, how do you talk to these people when you got companies next to you and they going full auto? Just like, hey, my name is Kevin. Tell me about your product. And
Yeah.
then you got a net guy next to him with a full auto. It's like, what the like man,
So
listen,
that yeah,
what's no
that's one of
point?
the things that I did upgrade from last year is that I did a couple interviews. I talked to some people and I posted the video regardless. And I kept, you know, views and comments, whether they're bad or not, are still views and comments, right? So I got one video on TikTok that had I had people hating on it. Like, oh yeah, I couldn't hear a thing. There's a whole bunch of gunfire in the background. I'm like, yeah, well, thanks for the comments and views, though.
Hey,
Uh,
thanks for giving my TikTok popping for bad comments,
so,
mother sucker.
oh yeah, I don't care. It's attention, positive or negative, still attention, right?
True.
The
Um,
it was good mics and good recording stuff, and just that was one of the things that I made sure to have was making sure I had interview mics that with good filters that were quality. So that way it did filter out a lot of that. When I did the radiant one, I had my mic on next to him. I should have given him a mic, anything, but there was someone shooting right behind him, and when you look back at the video, it's like you can hear it, but it's not as bad as it was last year. Uh,
um, I learned a lot. Some things like next year I probably would do different or take with me. But like I said, the ability to go to the GunCon early to talk to companies, and the dinner was like, oh, that was because you sat down and kicked it, and everybody talking business. But I guess to me, I was like those. The dinner was more like let's just kick it and find out how cool we are and how because we got a common like we all commonly come together because of 2A, right? We gun nuts, we like that.
Mhm.
So once you sit down and talk to guys, you find out their fathers did this, they play ball, they did this. So we got other stuff in common. So I wasn't there necessarily trying to get interviews or kick it or trying to pitch my brand. I was just like, hey, let's have a conversation. If I can go out, some of these guys I can go out have a drink with, go watch the game. We gonna talk about guns anyway. But it's cool to be around them, not just like I'm always trying to sell, 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 sell.
Yeah, it's you're building relationships and knowing that your soul relationship isn't just guns.
Right.
You have other things to your personality.
Right. So yeah, that's one of the cool things that I thought about GunCon, that I got out of it, that situation. Now notice you said that you shoot competition and all that good jazz. So talk to me about this 5K. Cause there's no way in hell I'm gonna finish that 5K under 24 hours. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. So talk to me about this
All right.
Wolverine 5K. Because
So
when I heard that video, and I was just like, we gotta talk about this because I'm in the
the
competition
Wolverine
world.
5K.
Yeah, I'm in the competition where we do competitions, and I don't know how far away. How far away are you from Battle Creek area?
Battle Creek, about 2 hours.
Okay, so it's called ACTS, American Confederation of Tactical Shooters. I seen the link
Yep.
and everything. You heard about it?
The president of there is actually the safety coordinator for the 5K.
Who, Brad?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, short
He's
dude with a
a
beard.
kind of a shorter guy, beard tatted up.
Oh man, you got
Yeah,
tatted up. You gotta come out there, brother. You gotta come out
yeah.
there and check it out. Cause about to say, Brad is the one I know
I'm
that did
down.
the 5K Wolverine 5K. So I know
Mhm.
he tried to get people to
If
do
I'm
it.
not mistaken, I'm pretty sure he was our safety, the main safety officer for the whole range.
Yeah, cause he's he can, yeah, cause he does it for us too. He's the president of ACTS. So tell me about the
Yeah,
Wolverine
yeah.
5K.
So Wolverine 5K is not your typical 5K. It is a tactical adventure race. So it starts off with a 5K land nav course. So it's not a 5K run, it's a 5K land navigation course. Depending on how you sign up, you can sign up in really 4 manners, but you have hardcore and rec, and then you can do solo or team in each of those categories. If you're hardcore, you are full plate. You gotta have plates, minimum weight of 12 pounds, with the plates themselves, and then when you go on the 5K, you have to be weighted down with a 45-pound pack that could include your plates and your kit that you can wear. So your pack is 45 pounds. You don't get GPS.
Talk about
You're
concealed
going
carry in
old
like a
school,
romper like this,
GNRMs
okay? So this is what I'm
with
wearing right now. It's a one-piece romper.
standard compass. You're going to have regular a map. You're going to have to orientate. This year they did a twist where they bagged and cuffed the hardcore athletes, drove them out to a random checkpoint, dropped them off. They had to pick their cuffs and then orient where they're at, and then
Time out.
navigate
Time
back
out.
to
Time
home
out.
base.
Time out. Rewind. 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 You
Okay.
said they did what?
So hardcore athletes got a black bag, like pillowcase over their head, handcuffed. They're on the back of a Suburban and drove off to a random spot.
So,
Unknown.
so technically, you can talk about this. You can say that, right? You're not giving
Yeah,
away nothing. Like
yeah.
you ain't getting trouble.
They
Okay,
signed a consent waiver.
I'm not coming.
And that was that was hardcore though. Um, Hardcore is for the guys that they know what they're doing. They've either done it before. Honestly, you can go ahead and give hardcore a try, and then you have to
Listen,
really know your land.
listen. I don't even play hardcore on Call of Duty. Okay, I
Yeah.
don't even
So,
play hardcore on Call of Duty.
all right.
You
Well, then
just
you'll like this better. The recreation team that's there for fun. The only difference between hardcore and rec is the hardcore guy gets to take home the big trophy. They're going for the big prize. There's still a smaller prize trophy for the rec teams, but the hardcore gets the big shebang. Um, and the reputation of the one. But recreation, you only have to have 25 pounds in your backpack, and you can use GPS. So plug the good points into GPS, follow it to where you need to go. You'll have little missions that you have to do at every point, which is basically just take a picture of the enemy vehicle that's listed on there, and then there's 2 different codes you have to list down, write down tap code and Morse code, which will decrypt a message at the end for bonus points. Basically, your 5K time from when you start to when you finish, that is your part time. That is your start time that you have. Then, once you're done with all of that, whatever bonus points you get, which was with Fragulas, which is a fragmentation order, it's just a small little like side mission tasks that you can do to get points off. So all the points that you're going to earn on the shooting events, there's 10 to 11 shooting events, as well as other Fragos, that will take off of your 5K time. So our time was a little bit slower. We were like 2 hours, 45 minutes, I think, for our 5K time. So all of the points that we got should have reduced that. I think we ended up with a total score of 69. So we were just still a little positive. Most teams are going to go negative. Just like golf, your goal is to go negative the best you can.
So is it a team sport? Is it team?
You can do a team or you can do solo. So if you go on team, you're going to have a 4-man team. You can do it with 3, but it's better with 4.
Is this y'all on that? Is this y'all?
Yep. So it's my buddy Mike in the back there. He's me and him served together, and then my brother-in-law Matt. He served in the Navy as well. So we were all pretty savvy on how to do the land nav, even though we didn't need to. I didn't trust in my GPS in the beginning, and then I finally trusted it halfway through, and it went way much faster. And the shooting portions, you're kind of like, it's almost like you're going to an amusement park. You're standing in line waiting to do a shooting event. You have your briefing of how the range goes, just like how you would when you go to do any like competition shooting. Instead of getting a walkthrough of it, you have to kind of preemptively read the course of fire and all the rules, and they're going to come up. So if you understand the course of fire and under all the rules, yes, okay. They'll highlight any key identifiers for like safety concerns, and then you're it. They'll say range is hot. You'll execute. They'll call index. They'll range cold, and then they take your points and your score of what that event was, and they'll log it in and deduct that from your time.
So if you don't go hardcore, you go rec. What you call it? Rec or whatever.
Recreation.
So how do you get deployed off into the wilderness or whatever?
You just walk.
You don't get bagged and tagged and put in the back of a trunk.
No.
Damn.
No. I mean, I guess if you asked them to, they probably would, but
yeah.
No. So that usually, you start off, first team's off at 09. Latest we had guys get back. Now, if you used to have a later start time with the land navigation portion, you can go ahead and start doing some of the shooting events first. So you got to time it right. You got to battle.
So where are the shooting events when you start walking? Like, are they throughout the map, or do you can go to them first, or how does that work?
So the main HTC, or the main headquarters of MTC, that's where all the ranges are. The land navigation portion is north of it. It's in public land. It is not on the same facility, and it does not intersect the ranges at all. And you do not take your firearm with you out onto the land nav portion. So there's no firearms or ammunition on the land nav portion. I will say that there is an obstacle course stage where there is a 3-mile obstacle course that has shooting in between obstacles. That one's a ringer. I did not get to it, but maybe next year. And there is also going to be a winter skirmish, so it'll be a little bit different for this one. The winter skirmish is going to have 20 land navigation points, but instead of you going to one point, so you get your first point with land nav. So you have to navigate to it, and then you get your next one. So you don't have all your points. You have to get to the next one to get your following point. And in the wintertime, they're going to give you all of your points to begin with, and then you can route plan how you want to get as many as you can within a limited time. They're going to give you a set amount of time, and your goal is to get as many of those points as you can. And they'll know you got the points because there's going to be an identifier at that point that you'll bring back that intel, and they'll go, cool, you actually did find your point because that's the proper intel.
And I remember you saying something about the equipment. You wish you'd have did something a little bit different, or took something a little bit different.
Yeah.
So let's just say this.
My chest rig I would have changed.
So say this, everybody want to, like you say, you do prepare for the zombie apocalypse and all that. So what is something crucial pieces of equipment, regardless of what's going on in the world, like you probably should have took or should have had? 'Cause I know you said a compass, and you said learn. I remember you saying something. You need to learn your compass, like regardless of what level it is. Like, what's some other crucial things that just that experience made you think about? Like, look, I need to do this now.
Make sure you test your gear out 100%. Don't go to like. And this is a good event to go test the gear out on. Go do stuff like this to test your gear. Don't wait till something actually real life happens. Just don't buy this piece of gear that Joe Schmo on the internet said, yeah, this is a good piece of gear. I trust it. That's good. It probably is, but you still need to know how to use that piece of gear. You don't buy a gun and go, all right, I'm good. It goes bang and puts holes in people and things, and I don't have to worry about training with it. It'll do its job. When the time comes, I'll figure it out. No, you go train with it. You go to the range, you put rounds through it. You do drills with it. You practice and you get your tools dirty. You get them worn in. You get comfortable. You make modifications. You change it. So the biggest thing I take away is I went there with new gear to try out. I found the hot spots that I had with the gear. I found things that I didn't like with the gear. My chest rig set too low. I'm going to adjust my straps, bring it up. I think I need more, maybe more coverage next year. I'm probably not going to do chest rig. I'm probably going to go full plate carrier. My belt setup, same thing. I had too much stuff in my belt. I had stuff that I didn't need, that I wasn't going to use, that I could easily quickly take off.
It's like, well,
I think
I
that was
guess,
really the kind of biggest thing.
well, I guess a 5 like that tracking for. I'm not wearing plate carrier, so that's. I was just like,
So you got to remember the 5K portion it's a 3-mile land navigation course, so you can walk it with just a 25-pound backpack.
okay.
You don't have a whole lot of gear. You can have a nice hiking backpack that's comfortable, has a nice frame on it. That's going to be comfortable. It's only 25 pounds. It's not that bad. I mean, I've trucked way more than 5K with 80 to 100 pounds on my back. I was a lot younger, but
Well, because I just thought it was a great experience and a great insight on some. People always planning for this or planning for that or got this in their car or they carry this and carry that. But that 5K experience is like, you know what? I don't need this. I need that. And
yeah, if you want to
that's
see
where
if
kind of I
your end
got
of the
out of it.
world
Like,
gear, go to that event.
that's what I got out of it when I seen it and I was
Mhm.
listening to it. I was like, he probably know, like, oh, because when we go shoot these competitions, especially with axe, you find out what firearms work and what firearms don't work when it's put through rigorous just use or whatever, running around. You find out, you come in full attack gear, and if it's a bad hot day, you midway through the competition, you probably coming out of all that stuff because it's hot, it's heavy, it's this, it's that, it's cumbersome
Yeah,
sometimes. Because especially if you're not a person that wear plate carriers all the time and you don't have the right cut, once you bring that rifle up and you don't have it set up right, that's an issue, right? That's an issue, especially trying to shoot on the move or do whatever with your rifle. The way that cut can be swimmers or whatever, it can hinder you, or it can mess you up, and you don't, like you said, if you don't
yep,
wear it or train with it and put it on for the first time running around doing stuff, it's just like, ooh, I should have never did this. So those
yeah.
competitions like that, the 5K and like the other stuff we do, kind of like cements like, okay, this works, that works. But that 5K that what you're doing is like more of a, to me, was like more of a, I need to know what kind of equipment I need to always have on me. Like, even with, I carry
Yeah.
a tourniquet, this and that, but just other stuff, I felt like, oh,
Well, have you
that was,
seen the movie Red Dawn, correct? Yeah, the
yeah.
1984 Red Dawn. That's the whole 5K is based off of.
Every
That's
YouTube
the
video,
Wolverines.
every YouTube video I went on here, and it was a they flew a helicopter there, not a helicopter. They flew a plane
Yeah,
there.
Mira Safety came in all the way from Texas, and they
Yeah,
have a stage there that you have to don a gas mask, and they're popping smoke, and you got to do the whole drill with a gas mask on.
Yeah, I went
So, and
to.
they award the whole team with whoever does the best time with the gas mask. They gift them some Mira safety gas masks.
So I guess when I was every I thought this was a joke when I started looking at it because I was like, they did a whole movie background, like they were in the plane, something happened this, and I was just like, is this the 5K? Like I didn't know what this was, but I guess it was
Oh,
team.
maybe that's something different.
No, they were going. They said they were flying. Is this one? Let me see something. Um,
Yeah.
did you see this? Is this one?
Oh, yep. That's Mira. That's the Mira safety.
What are they?
Yeah,
What is that company?
Mira safety. They do gas masks. Gas masks, safety shields, face shields, a lot of tactical gas masks and things.
Okay, because Pew Pew Tactical was winning. Went with them. See, they're going to the Wolverine 5K Tactical,
Okay.
inspired by Red Dawn. So
Which year is that? Is that so that was this last year's.
yeah. They posted
If
2
that
months
was
ago.
last year's. They have another video too from this. I think they have another video up from this year's as well.
Texas to Michigan.
Or with somebody. Um,
Dog. Listen, I just thought this is a whole cinematography ass movie going to. Listen, this Pew Pew
yeah.
Tactical. Like
So
I was just.
all the stages with the Wolverine 5K are based off of a scene in the movie. So the title matches something, and the tasks that you have to complete are similar to what they did in that movie. So if you watch the movie and you just get to that stage, you're like, oh, I know what we're doing here, because that's what they did in the movie.
And I think, and maybe, well, I don't know. Well, even at our axe matches, every stage is designed and it's a scenario. It's not from a movie, but once you start listening to what they're talking about, it's something you probably seen or heard, or they had to get some ideas from somewhere to, what I'm saying, to bring that stage, that scenario stage to that. But I was just like, wow, look at this. I was like, it's probably something I never do, but I'm cool that you did it, so I can talk to you about it because this is a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be doing it again. I'll be going to either run it or volunteer for the winter, and I'll be running it again next year. So I'm definitely going to get someone to come along to try to film a lot more of the stages next year, so we can kind of get more. There's not as much coverage of it as we're out there just shooting, but I'm going to try to get someone to come out and actually spectate
and
and film
and
the
and
stages.
that's
A bit more.
and that's been kind of a situation even with doing some of the axe matches. It's hard to get. It's hard to videotape what we do because I show it on Instagram a lot. When we doing what we doing, and it doesn't do it justice. Like you actually have to be there to witness it and to have fun and
Yeah.
to shoot it. But it's hard to like you want to shoot and compete and be at your best, but then you gotta get footage. But it's like I can't do both. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing that they working towards to do better, um, in order to get more exposure. But it's kind of like one of them groups. Sometimes you want exposure, you want people to see it, but then sometimes you don't. It's kind of like that's our thing. You know what I'm saying? Like if you know, you know. The more people you bring in, you never know. Because even with the 5K and all that, like you have to have a certain level of skill set to compete, right? You can't just. To me, you just
Yes.
can't. You
It's
can't
not
be
an
a.
entry level.
Yeah, it's not an entry level situation. The great thing about Axe and the board is technically the shit we do out there is not entry level. But if you're a newbie, you come out there and they hold you with open arms, but they will also send your ass home with open arms, like just that fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's big boy rules out there. So that's
It's
that
the same thing up there. Everybody, when they go to that event at the 5K, you're expected to um, act professionally and be proficient with your stuff. This is not a training event. This is a testing event. This is a combination of what your training should have been for the whole year. So this isn't some place where we're going to teach you how to do these events. You need to know what you're doing.
right.
Same thing when you're doing like an IDPA stuff. You can go do local matches, and they'll be more relaxed. They'll be more like educational because they're like that's what they're trying to do is bring people into the sport. And this is not one of those places. You want to learn, go do other competitions first, and then get an understanding of how the range etiquette works, how all that stuff is going to happen before you can do it like this.
Well, and I remember you saying this too. You was like, "Hey, man, this is a thinking man's game," and I was like, "Oh, shit, that sounds like Axe. Like this ain't just go
Yeah.
down, burn them down, and have fun. Or I mean, you can have fun, but this ain't burn it down. This is, hey, you gotta think about some shit. Like you just can't run up in there and do this and this. You can, but you ain't gonna like the results. So let me ask you this: coming from a holster designer, let me go. What what are some issues when it comes to designing or getting holsters for, because there's so many holster companies out there, and then sometimes holster companies have issues with, like, this. Let's just say your holster gets to a famous person, not everybody in the world wants that holster or whatever. So
Mhm.
what's some of the ups and downs of having a holster company and competing in the world today when it's so many different holster companies? Because we
Yeah,
got
with it
yours right
being
here.
so
One
saturated
stop
now.
shop for your EDC needs. Tigger.
So I think the biggest thing is going to be that it's getting fairly saturated within the kydex community. It's there's a lot of us doing it, but if you really looked at the overall scheme, like I'm into it because I'm in all the groups and everything, so I see all the different companies out there that are making it. And I think, oh, it's so saturated. But if I look at my local area, there's like maybe 2 or 3 of us within a radius. There's two other ones that I know that are within like a 30-mile radius. So technically within the same business area. The difference being is everybody's going to have a specialty. So I specialize in non-high volume custom work. So I try not trying to be the guy that's like, man, I have this weird combination. Cool. Well, within limitations, we're going to be able to do something for you. Because that's the biggest thing that you're talking about earlier about, oh, I've got this new Staccato with this TR1 and nobody makes a holster for it. Well, a lot of times when a new gun comes out, like we're one of the things I'm going to be talking about the next week is the new Smith & Wesson Shield X. Finally, they came up with what I've been begging, not to them personally, but I've been begging for Smith to come out with this gun. It's like about time. Thank you. Everybody else is like light years ahead of you, and you're going to finally come out with something. And it's like you're a little bit behind. It's like, well, we were waiting to get it perfect. No, it wasn't that hard. But so this is what I've been waiting for because I love the Shield. I'm an M&P guy. So here's an example. Here's a gun that just came out. They're going to be looking for holster support like right away because these things hit the market. The first thing you should buy when you buy your gun is a holster for it, so that way you can stow it and carry it safely. You can get your gun and put it in the case, take it home in the case, and leave it in the case, take it to the range in the case. Like, who wants to do that? You want to carry the gun that you got for personal protection on your body right off the bat. So we got to have holster support right off the bat. Now, companies like this, they're going to send prototypes of models to some of the bigger companies to gain support. They're going to model it and get the holsters made for it. So you're going to have, stuff Wildland or Black Hawk and 1791 gun leather, like all these other bigger holster companies, Playtech being another one. They're probably going to get these models in directly from Smith to start modeling holsters. Smaller guys like me, I'm doing a lot of one-offs. I'm doing small batch orders, local stores, gun shows, things like that. It's going to take me a little bit more time because now I'm relying on a holster molding company, which is one in Livonia, Michigan, that almost most of the holster community goes through. And I gotta wait for him. I can give him a call, directly. Like, hey man, this new gun came out. If I get to it, can you get it over to your molding team and get me a mold? Usually the answer is yes. But there's a lot of time that is involved with that versus me acquiring the firearm myself, which is working on getting our FFL. So that way we can have these guns in early. I can get in contact with these manufacturers to get that in sooner. So that way we can hit that market running when that firearm is released to the public. We can have holster support ready for it instead of tailing behind and waiting for somebody else. And then you're looking at 3, 4, 5, 6 months, however long it takes down the road before you can get holster support. The custom holster support is these bigger companies. They don't do light bearing stuff. You can't get any of the big companies to get something with white on it. And they are only going to do black and like 2 options, like inside or a powder. So that's probably the biggest challenge is when they come up with a new model. And now it's like, now I have to go invest time and money into either buying somebody else's tooling, or take the time and design my own tooling, which I prefer to do. And now, anyway, because it's a lot more personable for me to take and design it myself versus taking some mold that, 50% of the holster community is using the same stuff and they're putting their own little twist on it. But I think that's probably one of the biggest challenges, just those new guns coming out that delay people begging me, hey, I just got this new gun. Cool. Wait in line.
So it's kind of like first come, first serve. So if you get to it first, you be the first one to drop it and get it out there to the masses.
It's kind of
Especially
where your reputation as far as a holster company goes. The bigger companies are going to get first tips because they have the biggest, group of consumers. The smaller guys like me and a lot of other people that are doing custom kydex, we're not, we're small fish in a big pond. These big companies aren't going to send us a gun for support. However, all you got to do is send a quick email. I have a handful of guns out here that people have been asking for holster support for, and I have it, and they're listed on the website, and I promote it. It's like they're here and ready to go, and it's like you just got to reach out to these companies. There's all those small companies like we've seen at GunCon that nobody's ever heard of. I bet you none of your listeners or anybody else has heard of Fusion Firearms or Phoenix Trinity or Daria. Who else was there that was like never even heard of them? And here they've got a whole bunch of pistols and rifles, and nobody's heard of it. And it's up to us to reach out to them, get defensive for support, and be able to get holsters that are compatible with them.
So what? Oh, okay. So what's some rare? You mentioned that some of your guns that you got that's on the website. So when you list all these guns, you have the molds for all these guns?
Mm-hmm. So we either
Okay.
have the mold of the actual firearm or a combination of both.
Jesus
And the
God.
goal is to be able to get the real gun for everything to eventually be, to have the real firearm for test fitting. The molds that I get are high quality molds, and I have, I usually will take the mold after I get a new one into a local gun store to confirm fitment. And I'm confident in our molder and the moldings to know that the fitment's going to be good.
So you don't. So you what the lights? You got a shit ton of lights on here. You got all
And
these
I'm
lights.
planning. Yeah, I've got like 65 or 75 plus lights now, and I'm planning on adding a whole nother like two more companies full line of lights.
How
So
many molds do you have?
I think I'm somewhere around 180
Are
different firearms
is this on site shop or is this an off site shop?
on site. So I have a home based business for now.
Okay. And your wife is okay with all that sawdust and noise, or it's in the garage? She shot you in the garage.
I have a detached three car garage, and I'm using one full bay that's insulated. I'm actually running out of space. I actually have to expand.
That's good though. That's good. That's good. That's good.
Yeah,
What's your
that's
turnaround time? Because I'm looking. You said yeah. I hit this. Let me see. I hit this button, and I was like,
yeah. Right now
wait
we're
up.
at about 2 to 3 weeks for production time. That is from the time you order. That's 2 to 3 weeks, including our on average it's like 3 to 5 days shipping. So you're looking at about 2.5 weeks production time, just with the amount of orders that we have. Because I'm a one man shop. I don't have any
And I was like, look at all these
employees.
guns. I was like, wait a minute, man. Wait a minute. Look at all
Yeah.
these guns, dog.
And that still needs to get gone through. I think I still have about 5 more models to add to that list. There's sub models, different models that have come out that I have to go in there and add.
So you say you're a one-man wrecking crew. So you say your turnaround time is about 3 to 4 weeks?
2 to 3 weeks.
2 to 3 weeks?
That's from the time you order to your door.
So do you have any quick ship? You said you have any quick ship items, or everything is just?
So I do have some, like my gun show stock. If someone orders something that's, usually if it's just a black inside the waistband, because I usually have, when I go to the gun show, everything's just in black because I do some colors just to showcase, like, hey, we can do different colors, different prints and styles, but mainly I just do all my inventory in black because it's concealed anyway. Nobody needs fancy colors for that.
Hey,
But I still not do it. Like, I've got a gray carbon fiber that I carry every day. I've done some crazy, weird custom prints. We can custom print. So if you have an image, a logo, family dog that you want printed on it, we can do that.
you know, it's weird. Like even with inside the custom Kydex holsters, everybody has their own when it comes to the inside the waist, and it's either the appendix carry with the extra mag or whatever you call it, or the
Mhm.
single without the extra mag. Everybody got their own kind of like style of a Kydex, and it's weird to see like they all not. You would think most people that make Kydex holster they all the same, but sometimes they're not. Like, you may have round edges. Some other people may have straight, whatever.
Yep.
But it's weird to see like each holster. I mean, some of them you can be like, okay, these all look alike. But I'm looking at them,
Mhm.
and it's like everybody has their own design of style or unique flavor to a Kydex holster. A
Yeah.
Kydex design.
Yeah. It's about
Um,
the biggest thing with, especially since a lot of these guys, if you're not making your molds in house, they're all getting their molds from like 2 to 3 people. So everyone has really the same mold, but when it comes down to it, it's how you cut and finish it, and the hardware that you decide to use. So we decided to use these instead of this industry standard foamy clip. We went with the Talon Retention that's out of Montana. We went with his clips. I like the design, I like the feel, the durability. I prefer these. I put a little ledge here. This is a reholstering ledge. Just opens the mouth a little bit, made it a little bit wider, which aids in holstering, so it's not so tight. So you can kind of hit that sweat guard, and you can reholster it a lot faster and easier every time. How we mount our claws, so that way they don't shift and move on you. That's locked on there. That's tight. A lot of people, this is their retention point. Ours, for our appendix, the retention is set on the backside, which is different from a lot of the other companies. Because this claw will start to move and it loosens up and your retention changes. So we lock that thing down. Now your retention is based on the rear. So just smaller little things like that everybody kind of tweaks and changes that will vary from one company to another. And then just how they finish the edges, how they cut the edges, how they trim the holster.
mm. And I see some companies have the wedges built into the holster, or the wedge, or
Yep.
that
And you can
that's.
tell those are the guys that are modeling and molding and making their own molds. And that's one of the things we're going to get into is start doing that, so that way we can add features to the holster itself instead of having to modify our molds manually every time. We can just make our mold the way we want it, and we can start. It'll speed up that production time.
Well, because people that order shit, they want it the next day. They want it when they thought about
I
it
know.
when they wake up in the morning, they want it hitting their door before they even order it.
Yeah.
That's how quick people
So
want
we will
stuff.
have a quick ship page and a garage sale page coming soon. I have a lot of old inventory. I'm going to be pre-making a bunch of simple, basic stuff that's like a common. That'll be a quick ship. It'll ship like same day if ordered before 3 o'clock kind of thing. It'll be within 24 hours of you ordering. It's going into a mailbox. We'll have that coming up here soon. We do have stuff coming on Amazon. So I will have certain product that's going to be on Amazon. So that support's going to ship pretty quick. So that's news to something that's going to be coming here pretty soon.
Okay. That's cool. Dang, I forgot what I was about to ask you. That's hey, before we go. Hey, let me ask you this. When T.REX arms started doing what they was doing, when you was like, hell yeah, they about to get up out of here. I'm like, what was your thoughts about the T.REX arms debacle?
I wasn't worried about T.REX arms. I think they're in a different ballpark now. They started off doing holsters. Lucas started off with $1,000 and a toaster oven. A little bit more money than me, but same process, same steps. And he built it into a different industry. I was against. I didn't really care for him for a little bit because I think his standards were getting too high and he was getting kind of cocky. But now I'm starting to see more things come to light with that whole situation. I think he was kind of driven to be the face of the company that he didn't want to be. There's a whole other story to that. But as far as like competition wise with the holsters, I don't think that I was really too worried because they started getting kind of high volume. And once a company goes high volume, I think their quality kind of suffers a bit. I've had a few friends that have bought T.REX arms sidecars, and in comparison to the ones that I was making, he was like, I was kind of disappointed in myself for betraying you and buying a T.REX. I'm like, yeah, you should feel bad. It's just some of the things, like, they're good, they're great. Quality of fit and finish was fine, but he's like, I couldn't get the retention I wanted. Some of the quality, he had some quality issues. I'm like, well, as production increases, quality is going to eventually go down. And that's one of the goals that we have, is to never get too big to where our quality suffers.
I think that's yeah. Well, I think that's just one of those, when success comes, and then the more you get successful, or you grow in that industry, they started doing other stuff besides Kydex holsters. Training videos, weapon, accessories, this, and this. So of course, some of that stuff is gonna lack. I just thought it was, I just thought his company idea for civilian stuff was cool. That's kind of where I was at with
I
his.
100% stood by and still stand by their principle and idea of their company and their ethos as far as that goes. We have a similar idea, mindset here, but I'm not selling to the elite. I'm not trying to arm the elite, and I feel like that's what they are. They're like, oh, we're trying to get everyday citizens. Well, everyday citizens can't afford $3,500 nods and $600 per plate for Hescos. Like, we're going to be an armor. We have a Tactical armament that we are going to be a dealer for. I just have to get everything on the site. You can get a plate carrier set up for less than $300. Full plates, plate carrier and plates. That's affordable, and it's good quality gear that's going to still save your life. I want good quality, but it's not going to break the bank. They market that all the time. Like, well, if you got to afford this stuff, make a budget for it to get good quality gear. That, I don't agree with that statement. I think that everybody should be able to afford it, of all walks of life, regardless of their budget. They should be able to have life-saving gear and defense gear, and not just cheap Temu stuff. Good quality stuff that's not breaking the bank.
Listen, man. A family, to say that you need to have a budget for firearms, that's kind of, it's like a budget you got to hide from everybody, because can't nobody really know about that, because it's gonna be allocated somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
to have affordable life protecting equipment that you can say you stand behind, that's that's what everybody, that's to me what an average citizen needs to know about. They, running around here in full, not like, I got homies that got nods, I got homies that don't got nods, and some of them was like, hey man, we need to get into nods sooner or later. I'm just like, for what? I was like, at the end of the
Mhm.
day, I'm that 10,000 or six, I can be doing some, I can do something else with it. You know what I'm saying? Or vacation, whatever.
Yeah.
I can't justify that expense for nods in a world where, yeah, I run around at nighttime sometimes. I got a flashlight on. I got a handheld and I got a weapon light.
Yeah.
I'm good. You know what I'm saying? If you coming at me with nods, I'm in some shit that I'm in some
Yeah.
shit, right?
So,
Like, I can't get out of. So, but I know how to deal with that situation too. But I'm just saying, like, to me, the average person, it's just expense. It makes no sense for me.
So talking with my buddy Dave at High Point, he really changed my mind about High Points. I was like huge anti High Point, right? And a lot of people give High Point a lot of crap. It's a cheap gun. It's lower quality in a sense of, like, it feels like it build quality, right? Have you ever shot an High Point?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had a High Point jam on you?
Mm-hmm.
Does it go bang every time? Okay.
Well, I
Have
would say this.
you had a Glock jam on you? Your MP's jammed on you? I guess
Well,
my point that I'm driving
go ahead.
is it's a well, you and me are shooters, so this is I'm gonna bring some insight to you. We're shooters, so we're not gonna like the High Point, because we're gonna shoot it fast like we would a Glock or an MP. And you can't shoot them like you can those guns. You know what I mean?
Disclaimer:
But they're not.
shooter manual for the high point.
So, but he's like, high points aren't for shooters. High points are for people who need an affordable gun that goes bang every time and it's sturdy and it's accurate. And you can't deny that they are accurate and they are fairly reliable. I mean, look at the Demolition Ranch video. They stuffed the barrel from end to end with squibs, and it shot the squib out. They filled it with concrete. It shot it out. They shot a high point with another high point, and it still shot. Like, they're tanks, right? So for the guys that aren't shooters and they just need, the guys or gals that are not shooters, they just need a home defense, personal defense firearm that's going to be accurate and reliable and cheap. Enter high point.
Well, it's I don't even know how. Let me say this: High Point been around for a long ass time, right? Because a super long
80s.
time. Because my uncle, great uncle, may have a High Point in the glove compartment or at the house or something. So High Point's been around a long time. It's a reason they've been around a long time. Have I seen a High
They
Point
were still
jam up?
cracking it.
Yeah. Have I seen a High Point jam up? Yes. Have I seen a High Point shoot the first round and do that? Yes. So, things do happen. If you can keep somebody off you with one round or a sound and get them running, hey, it worked. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, high point can't be that bad. They've been in business for 30-some years.
yeah, they've been around.
Yeah.
They've been around. You got Anderson that
So
just jumped up out of there. So, and they've been around for
people
forever
think that
too.
people think that the cost of something automatically they make a judgment on the quality, and that's not fair. That's not fair statement. Just because something's expensive doesn't mean it's good.
True.
That's just because and it meet your needs. Do I need a $5,000? Do I need a Daniel Defense rifle, or do I need a BCM rifle for going to Plink or doing competition shooting? No. If I'm an officer doing, and I'm using it for work, I probably want to have the better, more durable equipment. But what's to say that my Anderson build with a bunch of other, hodgepodge parts isn't going to be as reliable and dependable as a, $2,000 Daniel Defense?
And shit, I'm gonna tell you this: my first AR rifle was a Anderson. It was a $600 whatever Anderson. Now I moved up. I got a Daniel. I love my Daniel, and that's like, I don't need nothing else. Like, that's my last gun. That's my last brand rifle. And to my opinion, it's a badass rifle. Don't have to worry about. I didn't even trick it out. I just put a trigger on it, kept it moving. I got a Riz 3. Love that rifle. Um, had an Anderson my first time out. I just tell people, if you can, it's always base levels to each firearm platform. Gun, rifle, whatever. I can tell you what works and what didn't work, and you don't have to go out and buy a $3,000 or $4,000 rifle. If you buy $1,000 rifle, $800 rifle, but when you shoot that $3,000 rifle, you're gonna be like, God, dog. But hey,
Yeah. There's no
it's a free.
denying it.
It's no denying it. I said,
Yeah.
but you still got a solid rifle in this. You still got a solid platform in this firearm and this gun. It's just, I guess it's depending on, like one guy said, what are you using when you buy a firearm, what are you using it for? So if you're telling me you use it for this and this and you have this amount of money, I can direct you in a certain, location to say, okay, this would work, this and that. So everything has a purpose and a reason, especially when you got, you spending money, your money, to save yourself or your life or your family. Some things you got to take in consideration opposed to other
Yeah.
things, and it ain't always about the high price firearm is gonna make or break. If you can kill, knock a zombie down, it's gonna be a skill set. It's gonna be about you.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna be about the
And
platform. So
there are going to be cases where, hey, the price does reflect the quality. But if it's a good brand, it's a good company that's well known, and it just happens to be affordable, doesn't don't knock the quality just because of the price. And I
well,
will say that the Daniel Defense makes some good stuff, and BCM makes good stuff. And do I personally think that it's worth the value? I think that they're riding the market. The value is always based off of what the consumers are willing to pay for it.
right.
That's 100. All value is based off. So
But
People are
believe
willing to
me,
pay $500 for a rifle with no iron sights.
hey, when Daniel first came out, they were way cheaper than what I bought mine for. So I was mad that that I didn't
Yeah,
jump on the bandwagon back then. But like I said, it and listen, they give these firearms to well-known IG personalities, influencers, and then they run around, shoot them, and everybody wants to be that person or run around with this or that. So it's some marketing and genius in some of that stuff. So it is what it is. We live in a consumer's world. We consume what we see most of the time. So it is what it is. But man, hey man, I appreciate your time, man. Matter of fact, reaching back out, cause I was like, man, you probably forgot about us. And I know he probably jumped on here sooner, a long time ago.
I
And
didn't, but just got busy.
man, listen, I got busy doing podcasts. When I first started, it was kind of like, so this is kind of like my first real So I was doing podcasts in the studio. I kind of like was learning how to hone my craft and do interviews in the studio for like just local people coming in and talking about their stories, whatever. So this is like the first year of me doing like remote interviews with people that may be in my Michigan, may not be in Michigan, out of state, here and there. So this is kind of like my first time doing it. And when I first started, it was like, okay, who we gonna talk to? What we gonna talk about? It's kind of hard to make, not hard. It's not hard to make content because everything is content to me now. The way I'm looking at it, like you moving around or creating stuff, or you can go out in the shop, pop on your camera, and your phone, your tripod, and make a holster, and that's content, right? Um, so me doing that, knowing that now, like everything we do is kind of content, or there's always something going on that you can talk about, whatever. So when I first started, it wasn't really like, okay, who I'm gonna talk to next, da 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 da, this and that. But now it's like, okay, lining them up, conversation. People want to jump on the podcast. People want to talk. It's like, okay, I'm getting the move, getting into it. It's a little bit different now than I was before. So, but like I said, it's a learning curve to me. It wasn't a blueprint out there. Although you look at YouTube, people on YouTube about how they start a podcast, but in our world, it ain't our world is not the same as everything else that's going on outside of that, right?
Yeah,
2A space is unique, it's a niche. We get depressed, we post up good content, safety stuff, educational stuff, but we still don't, it ain't the lifestyle brand that it's a $1 billion industry on YouTube, or how they look at that stuff. So um, it's been fun though. It's been cool. It's been
yeah,
it's been a good good a good thing. Like meeting guys like you, especially in Michigan, linking up, networking, and doing stuff. So, hey, anything you got going, man, or whatever. If we can come up there and do whatever or meet up, I'm with it. Just let me know.
hey,
Uh,
let's go to the range and get some shooting in. I'm always down for that.
And then I need to have you. I'm always, well. It all depends on. I've been getting into this USPSA thing now lately, man. I've been shooting a lot of USPSA, man. I shot my first qualifier last week, and I've been getting into it. I started doing IDPA with the homies, but then my little nephew started doing USPSA, and I was just like, you know what? I do like to move fast, like John Wick, and shoot fast. So, so
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
been kind of doing that, man. Are do are you getting into making like competition rigs or anything like that? Well, I
I
guess
do.
I don't know if that's
I can make it.
is
Yeah.
that a
So there's different regulations on your holsters. I
okay.
have to learn the USPSCA ones. I know IDPA rules, so I will be making a separate product that's going to be an IDPA legal holster. So that way, when you buy it from there, it'll have a lower cut to get out of the holster faster. It'll have the be within 3 inches. It'll be above the belt. It'll have meet all the qualifications, all the requirements that you need for that different discipline. Once I learn all the rules for USPSCA, I'll do the same thing for that.
Okay, cool being because
Yep.
I think I need this holster for my staccato for competition
Okay.
for
That would
USPSA.
be enough.
I
Yeah.
right now I'm running my M&P competitor throughout everything, just because I got a bunch of holsters for him. So I was just like, I'm gonna run that. So,
Yeah.
let me know definitely when you make that or thinking about making it, whatever. I'll be your test dummy.
I'll look up the rules. I'll reach out. I'll get out to you, and we'll get that made for you.
All right, man. Let everybody know that don't know about you, my audience, everybody, let them know your Instagram, your tag, your website, all that stuff. I know we jumped on the page a little bit,
Yeah.
but just let them know, because like I said, especially local guys. I'm always about the local guys, man. Like I said, to me, Michigan or Northerners don't get enough support, or because everything is South. Everything that happens is always South. It's always
Nobody likes
Texas.
winter.
Yeah, nobody likes them, like Texas, all that, Georgia, Florida. But I was like, listen, man, Michigan got real shooters. We deal with
Mhm.
we deal with 4 seasons in a day. It could rain, snow, and
Yeah.
90 degrees. We gotta learn how to shoot in that. Y'all don't. Y'all just shoot when it's nice out.
Yeah.
It could be snow. It could be rain. It could be sunny. We still gotta shoot. So just let
Yeah.
everybody know
So
where they can get with you at, bro.
basically, you can go to our website at cluckertactical.com. On that page, you're going to find about us. You'll see our affiliates page, where you'll see companies that we partner with, as well as our social links. You can go directly link to there. Everything you're going to use is Clucker Tactical for Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. So
Okay.
we're on there. We're really more active on Instagram, and trying to be more active on YouTube. Don't know why it's showing the Twitter tag there. I have a Twitter X account. I have an X account. I haven't used it. X is not for us. We have it. We're not using it. Instagram, if you want to reach out to us, you can message us directly on Instagram, or you can email me at charles@cluckertactical.com for any inquiries or questions. You can subscribe to our YouTube and our Instagram. Give us a like and a follow, as well as the Talk About 223 stuff. Make sure you follow him too. It's
Hey man,
good stuff, man.
it's too many social platforms out here to listen. I'm just learning Instagram and TikTok, like the Twitter, the X page. I just upload stuff to it. I'm just like,
Wow.
okay, link it, and
Yeah.
it is what it is. It does what it does. So
Yeah.
definitely go hit him up, man. Definitely go support. He's a local dude. Like I said, I'm all about the local, especially in Michigan, and we kicking it. We met. We jumped off. We started doing interviews and linking up. And I didn't even ask you how did you meet Zack? How did that happen?
I met him at a gun show.
Okay,
And
because
then he tried selling me ammo, and I said I'm good because I didn't want to buy anything. Because I didn't. And then he came over to my table. He's like, "Oh, you make holsters?" Like, yeah. And I ended up selling him a holster. And then we ended up hanging out at each other's booths for half the time at the gun show, and then that's how that started.
hey, he a good
Yeah.
dude, bro, man. He that sound like him. He a good dude, man. I've been learning. I've been in the I've been making ammo for a while, but he taught me, like, I'm learning. I got a press and everything, so he's educating me for sure. I just gotta
Yeah, I just let him do all that thinking because I know nothing. I know bullet goes bang, put it in the gun.
put the gotta go bang. I've been learning, man. I just gotta make some time with work. It's just hard, and doing all this stuff, it's hard to to fit everything in. But like I said, man, I
Yeah.
appreciate your time, man. I appreciate you reaching out, and reminding me. Once I said, "Oh yeah, we supposed to have done this a long time ago." What happened? So, how was it, man?
Yeah.
How was the podcast?
It's good. I love it. I can't wait to watch it back and see how many times I messed up.
Let me tell you this,
Fumbled.
brother. Let me tell you this, brother. I edited it.
Gotta do it live.
Edit it, and then I upload it, and that's it. I don't look at it no more, because I'll
Oh,
be like, man, I
oh man,
effed up
I
so
throw
many
raw
times.
footage out there, so I'm a savage, I guess. Man, I'll record something. I just throw the raw thing out there. Like that's what it is.
That's that's what I do. Like I'm gonna put an ending, intro, and then the ending, and then after that, I might mess with the audio. But after it's up, it's up. It does what it does, and I don't go back and look at it, because I'll be like, ooh, or
Yeah, if I said anything that offended anybody, suck it up.
disclaimer: if we said anything that offends you, so what?
Yeah.
Deal with it. All right, man.
Yeah.
Hold on for 1 second. Yo, what up, though, everybody? Look, that was an interview with me and the homeboy Charles from Klecker Tactical. That's his last name. Hopefully, I didn't screw that up. I told him, hey, I went to public school. Sorry, but anyways, man, look, please hit that like and subscribe. Please go hit that like and subscribe button. Share it with your aunties, your uncles, your cousins. Please, we need all the love and support you can get. Like I said, leave a comment. Let us know how the conversation went. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Just leave a comment. I could care less either way, but just let me know your thoughts. And also, if you want us to interview anybody, please put it in the comments or any content or things you want to see. Maybe I can reach out to the homies like Charles and see what kind of content he got, or if he shot a firearm or did a review on something or talk to a company or whatever. You know, I know people now, so you never know what I can reach out and do and get some information about. So anyways, man, hope you had a great time. Welcome. Thanks for coming on the show and watching it. Like we always say, game recognize game. We recognize you, so please recognize us. And I'm out.